I believe personally that children should come with warning labels before they enter the world. I wasn't prepared to be a mother. I wasn't prepared at all. I didn't know anything about raising babies. I really only knew about myself. Heck, I couldn't even cook. So here I am with this baby and trying to figure out formula and make sure everything is just fine. They're interesting when they're little. They don't do much. They kind of are swaddled up in their diapers and they look at you with those adorable faces and you just melt. And it's like, oh, how cute. They're not furry. I was thinking it would be more like a kitten. They'd be like little kittens, but they're not like that. And did you know that they can't run right away when they're born? I think I watched too many nature channel things and I expected more. Now, of course, we're not talking about like the movie that was called It's Alive, It's Alive. And that's where these babies are born and they actually started attacking people within 30 seconds after entering the world. That was probably my most vivid recollection of what I thought babies did. But our son actually grew up quite normally. He was thrilling. It was exciting to watch him as he started talking. And around age 2, he started getting a bit possessive. Do you know about the human anchor technique? This is when they suck up onto your leg, they grab you around the knee, and then you need to drag them around the home as they scream, "No, no, mama, mama." I was kind of concerned about that. I didn't want a clinging child. You can try to grease up your leg a little bit with Crisco oil. It doesn't seem to help. They are very tenacious about wanting to stick with the parents. And then I realized that maybe I needed to teach him about being overactive. So we actually lived in a home that had a couch that was up against a wrought iron railing, and over the top of the railing it dropped down in the split foyer for about 8 or 9 feet. And our son would launch himself at the couch, and then I was so terrified he was going to bounce over the top of the couch, and so I needed to show him what could happen, that little brain, so he could understand what would happen if he leaped over that railing and he hurt himself at the bottom. I loved that child, and so I took his favorite toy. He was Cowboy Bob. It was a Fisher-Price toy, and he was about this big, and I said, "Ben, watch this." Now remind you, Ben is about 2.5 years old, and I said, "Watch." And I had Cowboy Bob run across the floor, and then he ran up onto the couch, and then he ran up over the side, and then, oh no! Cowboy Bob leaped over the railing, and as Ben looked and I looked over the railing, we saw Cowboy Bob hit that vinyl, and his head flew off. Ben went, I was kind of mortified. I killed Cowboy Bob. Ben never ran for the couch again. I don't know if this is a recommended parenting technique, but we made sure we saved him. I tried to talk to Ben about this 28 years later, and he's still a bit speechless. He just remembers how quickly Cowboy Bob's head came off, careened off the front door, and then fell down another flight of stairs. Pitiful. But you know, as children start getting older, we realize that we have less time for privacy. I remember there was a time when I was out on the road for about 2 weeks. Rick was home taking care of Ben. My husband and I hadn't seen each other, and oh, I loved my husband. I loved my husband. And you know how when you come home, all you want to do is hug your child. "Hi there, nice kid. Love you, kid. Oh, my love." I wanted to hug my husband. Love that husband. And Ben was doing the human anchor thing. He's about 4 years old, the human anchor, and he's clutching now around the waist. Oh, mom, play with me, play. And I wanted to kiss my husband. I haven't seen him in 2 weeks, and he wanted to kiss me. He was even wearing Brute. Brute. I had to think of something quick. And so I called the neighbor next door, and I said, "Hey, Sue, Ben's going to come outside in just a moment. Would you please send your child out and be outside to watch him? And all I need is about 30 minutes or so." And Sue says, "You've been gone, huh?" And I go, "Yep." She goes, "I'm out there. I'm ready. Go for it." And what I did was I asked Ben, I said, Ben, do you want an Oreo cookie? And he's, yeah. You know, like those commercials where the guy goes, bacon, bacon. Ben loved Oreo cookies. And so I took about 8 or 9 of them and I wrapped them up in foil and I went to the back door and I slid open the door and I said, Ben, you want a cookie? Oh, Mom, I want Oreos. Yes, I want cookies. I said, go get it. And I lobbed him out in the backyard, and that kid took off like a bullet out that back door, and he sat down, and he sat there contentedly eating his Oreo cookies while Sue waved at me from the backyard. And I shut the door, and I turned to my husband. Yes, we can kick our kid out of the nest. Changing the locks wasn't an option at that early of an age. But boy, when our son turned 18, and he decided he wanted to live on his own in Kansas City, bless your heart, sweetheart.